everyone, it's Raquel Bowman here, and I'm here today creating a layout as part of the 'Tis the Season Christmas series joined and hosted by Audrey Yeager. I'm on day 11, this is day 11 today, and I have just cut out this gorgeous cut file by Paige Evans that's available in the Silhouette store. And the photo that I'm documenting is one's taken on the 2nd of December this year. So I'm a bit excited about that because normally I scrapbook the Christmas before. You know, this year I'd be scrapbooking last year's, which I have done as well, but I've printed some of this year for now. So these are just after we collected our tree. We went and chose a tree, and then the kids decorating them. So my son, I got them to look at the camera, so that's why they're posing, but this is when we're trimming the tree. So that's what these photos are. I've printed them in colour for something different, and because my daughter's wearing that gorgeous traditional red, I'm hoping that they'll work because I'd really like to leave them in colour on this layout. But I have gathered, I actually don't have a lot of Christmas supplies. It's just not something that I haven't done in the past. I've attempted very poorly a December daily, and I can never stick to it past the first couple of days. So I don't really have a lot of Christmassy stuff, but last year I bought the Ali's Studio 'Tis the Season kit from one of the Australian kit clubs, and it contained mainly 'Tis the Season. So I've got these puffy stickers, some ephemera, and I don't think I've used any of these. I've used a touch of the, that's not going to work because it says 2016, a touch of these cards in another project, but I have labels, I have some little bits and pieces in here that were part of the kit, some cutouts, and then I have a small selection of papers. Now it looks like a lot, but they're actually doubles because I asked for an extra sheet of each. So I think there might be only 4 different designs, but I just love that this Christmas collection is that true sort of white colour and not that cream base. So I'm very drawn to those. So I have no idea really in terms of design what I'm going to do next. I don't know whether I want to sort of tuck the photos staggered, you know, around maybe the ones of my kids up here, and then maybe this one of them together towards the bottom, and do a bit of a balance this heaviness out by the photo down here. I'm not really sure, but I'm just going to have fun. I'm glad to be a part of this series, and it's a good chance to just play with some pretty stuff and document our first sort of Christmassy thing for 2017. So I'll speed up the video now and get creating, and we'll see where this takes me. So as always, when I'm using a cut file, I decide to back the cut file first with the pattern papers, and I just go for a combination of more busier papers and those more sort of solid designs. There are definitely in these pattern papers no sort of real plain designs. See that grey star one is one of the more plainer or not as busy designs, but they definitely work for backing smaller cut file areas like this. And I really love the effect. I was able to incorporate so many different colours just from those 4 pattern papers, because they're double-sided, into the hanging bauble file. I can't remember the actual name of the file from Paige Evans for this one, but you'll find it in the Silhouette Design store anyway. So I'm just, to back these cut files, instead of tracing them out, I just decided to pop the glue on the back of the area of the cut file where I wanted to back, and then I just stick them directly onto the pattern paper and do a rough trim around them. Once they're dry, then I just trimmed around the edge area. Just saved me a step, I felt, by instead of tracing them, then cutting them out and then sticking them on, then probably trimming them again. I just sort of stuck them on, then trimmed. For a cut file like this, where you don't have to worry too much because you're sort of doing the outline of the shape, it's achievable. But when you've got smaller, intricate pieces on a cut file, you definitely sort of can't do it that way. So now I'm going ahead and I'm matting my photos just on some of the pattern papers. I wasn't thinking too much about which paper I was matting on which photo. However, I did want to use the pinky colour for my daughter, and I did want to make sure that I incorporated a wood grain paper into that as well. Then what I found was a strip of trees, which was one of the marketing or manufacture strips from one of the pattern papers, and I liked that, and I thought that was sort of a nice way to hang the bauble file off. So I also cut out from that striped pattern paper in this 'Tis the Season collection by Ali Studio, which is the 2016 collection, if I haven't mentioned that already. I cut out just a red dotted strip as well. I just like that pop of red there. Now, I was at the stage where I'm adding embellishments from the ephemera pack or the die cut pack, and I'm looking and thinking about what I wanted to do. But when I'm creating, or since I've been creating 8.5 by 11 size layouts, I have liked backing the whole layout. I feel like it gives it a really, that border gives the layout a real finished look, and I also like the pop of color that I'm able to add, and I'm able to use pattern papers that maybe I wouldn't necessarily have used in a big chunk on a layout before now. So this red, I probably would have, you know, matted photos or created smaller layers or something of that nature, whereas now that I'm bordering my whole layouts, I find that I am grabbing those brighter or bolder patterns and using them a lot more, which is good. As you can see from my little speech bubble there, I do have someone making a little appearance. I was creating this, the kids were outside playing, and it was the time of the day where we get a little bit fragile in this house, both mummy and the kiddies, I think, and so Jack wanted to be right there with me and helping. So he made it a little bit tricky, but I did capture some really cute little moments. So I've added some little special appearances at the very end of this video if you want to keep watching to check those out as well. But I'm up to adhering down all of my bits and pieces now, so I think that he went away for a little while at this stage, and I'm wanting to add some embellishments to the sides of the photos. And what I also work on doing is creating a bit of a triangle on this layout. So you can already see when you look at the cut file and how I've positioned the photos, a triangle, but it's a top heavy triangle, I guess. And I wanted to balance that out a little bit because I've got the rest of the bottom of the layout by adding another cluster of embellishments in that bottom right corner, as you can see there with the tags. So I decide to embellish the photo to where Jack is on the left of the page. I decide to add some embellishments to the photo to the right of Charlotte as well, and then to that bottom corner, and that forms my triangle and creates that balance on my layout that I felt like it was needing. Especially if I wanted somewhere to add a title or to add some journaling, I wasn't really going to be comfortable adding it anywhere else but that bottom area. I find that I go for this kind of a design, this asymmetrical type design, when I am creating an 8.5 by 11 layout. It just helps to balance out whatever I might have in mind. So I'm adding my journaling, which I typed, and I had some trouble with my typewriter, so I didn't include that footage. And then once I added some of the puffy stickers and those sorts of embellishments, I was pretty much done. So this is the finished layout, and I'm going to leave you with a little cameo appearance from my kitties, and then there'll be some linked videos at the end if you'd like to see them. Bye everyone.
Yeah, you did it. Mine did that part.
Did it?
Did it?
Woohoo! Okay, let me look.
I'll be very careful.
No, we don't cut that, Jack.
When do we
Okay, close the scissors. Why don't you...
We're going to cut type and subscribe to his channel.
Subscribe to his channel.
This little friend like me. This little friend like me.
Yeah.
But me? But so, how do I do it?
And give this video
Like
a big thumbs up. Yeah.
This one. 2.
All right. All done. Say bye, everyone.